a couple of affirmations. I want you guys to go ahead and unmute your mics. We have 5 affirmations we're going to start the day with. Unmute your mics. I'm going to say the affirmation. You guys are going to repeat the affirmation. 5 affirmations. And why do we do this? Let me tell you scientifically why we say affirmations. Let me tell you why we say affirmations scientifically speaking. Number 1, I'm a believer. I'm a man of faith. I believe in my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. In the Bible, it says that God spoke the heavens and the earth into existence. In the Bible, it says we are made in God's image. Therefore, we have power in the tongue. The word also says the power of life and death is in the tongue. The Bible also says if you have the faith the size of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. So if we believe it up here and we speak it right there, it will happen in existence. That's what the word says. The world says the same thing too. They just call it the law of attraction. The law of attraction says if you think about it, you speak about it, you will attract it into your life. So the word says it, science says it, the world says it. If all those things are lining up, more than likely it's something we should be listening to. So we're going to go ahead and say affirmations. We're going to speak life over ourselves. We're going to speak opportunity over ourselves. I want you guys to get excited and have energy about it. So here we go. Here we go. Unmute your mics. I'm going to say it. You guys are going to repeat after me. I am healthy, happy, and prosperous.
I am happy, and prosperous.
I'm a top-producing listing and buyer's agent.
I'm a top-producing listing and buyer's agent.
I will attract 3 listing and buyer opportunities today.
I will attract 3 listing and buyer opportunities today.
I'm a top-producing agent.
I'm a top-producing agent.
And I am the best.
And I am the best.
Clap it up, team. Let's get some energy going in here. I'm excited for today. Come on. Let's go. I'm excited for it. All right, we're going to start off the call the same way we always do with a market update with Marc Laszcz. That's a tongue twister, brother. Marc, go ahead, man.
All right, team. I want y'all to write down these 4 numbers for me. Okay.
Let's go.
29%, 13%, 700 billion, and 60. Okay. First number that I shared with you, 29%. We are up 29% in current active listings from this time last year. So we nearly have a third more inventory on the market. Now, that is just the gotcha tagline meant to put fear into the market that we have a surplus in houses. 13%. We are still 13% below the national listing amount average in terms of homes since pre-COVID. So we are still not back to our pre-COVID market yet in terms of our inventory. 700 billion. That is how much is currently active on the market today. That is $700 billion worth of real estate that our buyers are wanting to go purchase. Now, we did not have 700 billion during COVID. We had maybe half of that. So now it's the way that we frame it to our buyers, like, hey, remember when you were trying to buy 3 years ago and you would write 15 offers on 12 different properties and you didn't even get a counterback? Well, guess what? Now you are in the driver's seat. Please relay that to your buyers. You buyers have control. You can get your closing costs paid for. You can get crazy amounts of seller credits because the people that are selling are people that need to sell. Nobody sells their house because they want to. We're not in that market anymore. If the house is listed, some sort of life event happened: death, divorce, or finances. Those are the 3 reasons why people are selling today. And then the last number that I gave y'all is 60. 60 days is the average days on market nationally in the US today. Now, San Diego market, we're at 20 days. LA, we're at 30 days. So if you're in these markets, share with your seller, say, hey, we're selling quicker than the national average. So don't be afraid to put your house on the market. And if it lasts 60 days, okay, great, we're still there. But chances are we're going to sell it between 20 and 30 as long as we price it correctly, market it correctly, and do our jobs as realtors. So again, those numbers 29, 13, 700 billion, and 60. That's the key information for y'all to generate your marketing plans with. Talk to your clients, talk to your buyers and your sellers, present them concrete hard facts that, you know, these numbers are being publicated through every single national news media outlet, but most people don't know how to read it. So it's our job to make sure that they understand what these numbers actually mean.
Thank you so much, Mark. I have a quick question for you. Just to clarify, 700 billion, what exactly, can you just elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yeah, they did a thing on Zillow where they saw how many houses were actively being sold on the market, and they just added up the sales price of every single house that's currently on Zillow. So that every single house in the US right now that's active equates to $700 billion in real estate.
That's currently for sale.
Yes.
Gotcha. Thank you.
And on that note, I want to talk to you guys about something that I'm doing. Like you guys, so most of you guys know, I'm primarily listing heavy. So that's what I focus on, always listings, but I am shifting my message now over to buying. Not too much because I don't want to be seen by the consumer as a buyer's agent, but I am shifting my message slightly. And one thing that I'm telling my clients right now, I've had 3 conversations in the last 7 days about clients feeling defeated, discouraged, they're wanting to withdraw their home. One of them did withdraw their home. It's okay because it was a property in Los Angeles that needed way too much work. They're going to try to rent it out. I know it's not going to work, but it's all right. Anyhow, what's the conversation that we should be having with our sellers right now as they're feeling defeated and feeling discouraged? Well, number one, if we don't know the data, we can't have a conversation. We need to have intelligent, logical conversations with them. We know the national average is 60 days. We know the average days on market is creeping up higher and higher. So when we know this data, we can go to them and say, hey, listen, there's nothing to be worried or discouraged about. Quit comparing your 2025 home sales season to 2021. Those are 2 different markets. That's almost like saying, why isn't my home selling like it did in 2005? 2 different markets. Don't be unfair to yourself. So this is what I'm telling the client that I had a conversation with just today. I found out after I spoke with him about the data and the numbers of his home, I found out we've been on the market now for almost 95 days. 95. It's a $1.3 million plus sale home. 95 days. Number one, he has more homes for sale in his city, in his neighborhood, than the entire county does in any specific one city. Number one. Number two, that higher price point naturally is the higher price point. Number 3, he's in a rural part of San Diego, not suburbs, not city. So all these factors are coming into play that are specific to his market. Number 4, after I told him all this, here's what he opened up and told me. And this was an eye-opener for me. He told me today he felt bad for me because I was posting it on social media. I was hosting the open houses. He told me, hey, you know what? Let's just withdraw the house. Let's just wait for the interest rates to drop. I'm the one who said to him, bro, no, I feel excited. We're getting showings. People are showing up to the open house. We just haven't found the right buyer yet. It doesn't mean that it's not working. And then after I told him that and all the data, he opened up and said, bro, I'm so glad you said that. Thank you. He put this in writing. I'll send the screenshot in the chat. Thank you much for showing up with a positive attitude. It's been weighing heavy on me. And now this isn't verbatim. I'm paraphrasing. I've been feeling overwhelmed and heavy having you trying to sell the house, and I felt bad for you. Sellers are going to feel bad for you as a sales professional that and it just quite isn't selling. So reassure your client with data, reassure them and tell them as a sales professional, I love this, I'm happy, I'm positive, I feel good, because 9 times out of 10 times, they're gonna feed off of your energy. And if you're not the one controlling the narrative in their brain, then social media is gonna control the narrative, Google is gonna control the narrative, ABC News is gonna control the narrative. They're not gonna know what to think and they're gonna feel bad, withdraw the home, wait for the listing to expire and go with someone else because they're gonna feel too bad to go to you again. Don't be that person, control the narrative with that data. Thank you, Mark. What else you got for us?
Just what you said with that specific seller. Last year, 2024, I took the largest listing of my career, $3.125 million. And it was listed $400,000 above what I knew the house would value at. I told them we should list it 2.7 to 2.8. They said, no, we've been here for 50 years. We want that $3 million number. I said, great, I'll ride with you guys as long as you guys want me to. We'll keep it at there. 6 months, house didn't sell. We got an offer below at like 2.8. They accepted it. Unfortunately, the buyer passed away when he was flying over here in his own private plane to see the house. Like, it crashed. Crazy story. We relisted the property again at the number that I recommended. We were in escrow within 21 days of my new price because somebody who was a doctor in Japan, military, got transferred out here to San Diego. So what Gabe said is it's not the house's fault. It's just we just haven't found the right buyer. And how do you get a client to not only re-sign a new listing agreement with you, but to keep you as their agent for 8 months when they've already had 7 other realtors all hit them up during the time that it didn't sell? Oh, Marc's not selling the house. I can sell it for you. I can do this. But no, I showed so much value and came with such a positive attitude to my clients. And they said, no, we're riding with Marc till this thing gets done. But it's because of the level of professionalism that you show up with. You're asked for an impossible, task. You're asked to push, a 1,000,000-pound boulder up a hill when you know that there's other ways to do it to get the job done. So don't give up. You may feel internally frustrated, know that you're right, but you just have to let your buyers get to there. And as long as they have patience, you remain as patient as you can.
Anything new with ROA, new ROA updates you got to give the team?
Yes. So there have been email communications going out over the last month. The Work Vivo platform that used to be on our agent dashboard for trainings has migrated, and we are now on Facebook. We have a national ROA Facebook where there's live links to trainings every day, as well as recordings for every single state, as well as the national. If you have not yet joined your state and national Facebook page, I'll drop those links. If you don't have a Facebook, y'all go ahead and create one. Super easy, which hopefully all of you as realtors, you guys have a Facebook. But that's our new communication platform, is through private Facebook pages.
There you go. Team, do any of you guys have any questions about technology, anything that's happening with ROA, breaking news, any new changes? Go ahead and open your questions now. Have a conversation with Marc while he's on the call.
I have another update for you. So we are officially now with our new Agent Dashboard 2.0. If you have attracted realtors in your downline and they have not closed a transaction within 6 months, whether that be a referral that they send out or their own escrows, they now become a non-producing agent. So if they are in your front line, they now become a non-producing agent. So if you are building a downline and collecting on rev share, tap into your people. Say, hey, is real estate something that you're doing, or you're just having a bad 6 months? Or you start going and attracting other individuals, because the more people that you have, once they get into that non-producing status, you will lose levels across. And I've had a couple conversations with individuals saying, hey, why is my rev share check only X amount? And it's like, well, because we lost some people in your front line because they're not producers. Remember, the goal of this company is not to be EXP. It's not to be real, where we're just have people just focused on attracting and recruiting realtors. No, this company is by agents for agents, with people leading from the top. And that is my update.
Boom.
Hey, Marc,
Love
real
it.
quick.
Yep.
Hey, what about if the guy who brought you in is how does that work? If they're not closing.
Well, if the individual that brought me in, if they don't produce, then they're not going to get the rev share that I'm paying from my commission to the company. I will still get mine from everybody that I attract, but my upline won't be receiving any. And again, it's not, a huge amount, right? Just $3,000 needs to go to ROA. So ROA can take $450 of that $3,000, and then you get the difference back as part of your commission. That's the metric to be requirement. 3,000 every 6 months in GCI. And GCI stands for gross commission income.
Love it. All right, team. So we just went over the real estate market update with Marc. You just had a Realty of America update with Marc, with technology, what's happening across the company, some of the changes that are taking place. If you haven't completed your onboarding, if you don't understand your technology, if you need help with anything with ROA, send Marc a message. We'll make sure we get you connected to the right people at the company, because we want you utilizing all the tools. We want you understanding the compensation plan. We want you understanding the training 5 days a week. They're high-level training that ROA is putting on for you guys. The technology that's behind it. Drop into the chat right now if you're actively using Real Scout. If you're actively using Real Scout at a high level, you have your sellers on, your past sellers on there, your homeowners on there to get a home evaluation per month. You have your buyers on there to get their home drip campaign on there. Drop into the chat right now. Real Scout, I think by itself is around $500 per month. It's included in your Realty of America package. You should have every homeowner you know on Real Scout. It's like HomeBot, but you don't need a lender. It's like HomeBot, but you don't need a lender. You know, the lender's always reaching out to, hey, let's get HomeBot, let's partner up on it. Your clients get an update on how much their home is worth. Real Scout does the same thing. Look, my MLS sucks when it comes to home drip campaigns. I don't use that anymore. I use Real Scout for all my property searches. It's user-friendly. It comes straight to my account. I get notified every time they use it. So Real Scout's included. Close CRM is included. There's so much technology behind there. You need to make sure that you guys are using everything. And they don't charge us anything per month to use it. Like, come on, ladies and gentlemen, we should be using this technology out here. Any final questions before we jump into the objection handling class? 3, 2, 1, forever hold your peace. I love it. Okay. Jess, if we have any questions in the chat, make sure you let them know. Okay, team, we're going to talk about one of the things that I love the most, and that is objection handling. I want to look at all of you right now face to face, and I want to know who wants to objection handle with me face to face right now. I'm going to throw some objections at you, and I want you to handle them right now in front of the class. Who's confident right now from their ability to? Okay, let's go, Gabby. We're sitting at a listing presentation right now. We're across the table from one another, and I tell you, hey, Gabby, you know what? I like everything you say, but Marc Laszcz is going to be doing everything for 1%. You're just too expensive. You're charging me 6.
You're on mute, Gabby.
Hi, can you guys hear me? Okay. All right. So, Gabe, I completely understand that you are absolutely looking to walking away with the most money possible. Obviously, that's what you want, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay. And at the same time, can I share with you why it concerns me that you are considering hiring a discount agent? See, Gabe, the couple things. The agent that you will hire is going to represent you in every single conversation, and you're not going to be present. If they're not able to really fight for their worth, how strong do you think they can be to fight for your price, for your equity, and really get you the highest price and the best terms possible? See how that can work against you, Gabe?
Yeah, I mean, I don't, I can totally see that.
Another thing also, Gabe, it's like when you see a billboard that says, fly with us, you know, through an airline, fly with us, our pilots work for the lowest wages. And in real estate, it's the same thing. It's like agents are saying, trust me with your biggest asset because I work for the lowest wages in the industry. You see how that can work against you, Gabe? Let's get this done right. Let's go ahead. Put me to work for you. I'm going to be really, really there for you to help you negotiate the most money possible for your property. You're going to be really happy that we're working together. All I need is your signature right here.
Y'all better be dropping some fire emojis in the chat right now. Gabby smashed it. She smashed it. No hesitation of volatility. No hesitation of what she had to say. She knew what she wanted to say. You said it confidently. You came back at me with some logic. You asked me questions. You grounded me at the very end of every single. You crushed it. You absolutely crushed it. Wow. Look at the chat. Look at the chat. Hey, you killed it. You killed it. I love it. Okay, let's break this down. What happened here? I threw an objection at Gabby. Here is the format for objection handling. This is going to work in any given scenario. Yeah, I mean, the chat's blowing up right now. You killed it. You smashed it. This is the format for handling any single objection. Number one, you got to acknowledge the objection. Number one, you got to acknowledge it. Okay, I get it. You want to go a little lower, or someone wanted to lower, or someone wanted to do that. I get it. Write this one down, team. Number one, you have to acknowledge the objection. Number two, reframe it. Reframe it. What they're telling you is not really what they mean. I didn't say I wanted someone cheaper. That's not what I was trying to say. What I was trying to say is I want to make more money when I sell the home. That's what I was trying to say, right, Gabby?
Exactly.
I wasn't saying I want less commission to pay out. I'm saying I'm trying to make as much money as possible. So number one, you got to acknowledge the objection. Number two, you got to reframe it. Number three, you got to handle the objection. And number four, you got to close. It's a simple 4-step process to handling any objection that might come up. So number one, I acknowledge you. Yeah, you know what? I totally hear what you're saying right there. I get it, blah, 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 blah. Reframe it. So what I hear you telling me is this. What I hear you saying is you want to make the most money possible on the sale of your property. Is that right? Absolutely, I do. Reframe. Get them from thinking this to thinking this over here. They're seeing it with these lenses. The only thing that the homeowner sees is I reduce your commission, I make more money. And that's not the case. What she did was she used a beautiful illustration about a pilot, got me thinking in something that I can relate to and say, yeah, I've seen a billboard before. I would never want to fly on an airline where they pay their pilots the least amount of money. I want you to pay them the most amount of money. I want you to get them so happy and so joyful, give them time off so that when they get behind the plane, they get me there safely. She used a perfect illustration. She handled my objection, AKA, and then she went for the close. Look, let's just do that. Put me to work. Sign the dotted line. I'm going to help you make the most amount of money. She was confident. She was clear. She was concise. All 3 C's were hit, and she nailed it right on the back.
Thank you.
Objection handling is nothing more. Again, you crushed it, by the way. I mean, awesome job on that.
Thank you.
It's nothing more than understanding what they're really trying to tell you. If someone tells you they're doing it for cheaper, all they're really saying is, I want them net more money. If someone says, I want to think about it, there's a question that you haven't answered. If someone says, fill in the blank, that's how we handle the objection. What's another common objection that you guys have? I mean, Gabby, I'm in awe. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
What kind of common objections do you guys get? I want to handle them right now with you guys. I think the best way to teach you how to handle objections is to handle the objections with you on the line. What else are you guys coming across out in the sales field? And then Jess will let me know if anything comes in the chat. Yeah, I'm just opening up the chat right now.
I would say I want to interview other agents.
Okay. I want to interview other agents. So Gabby, what I'm hearing you say, right, let's role play this out. All right, so Gabby, you want to interview their agents. I love that. So what I'm hearing you say is that you're looking for an agent that's going to check off all the boxes that you're looking for so that you can make the right decision to hire the right person. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so let's focus on that conversation then. What are the top qualities that you're looking for in the broker you want to hire to represent you on the sale of your home?
I just want to get my property sold, and I want communication on a consistent basis.
Okay, so you want to get your home sold for top dollar. You want someone who's going to over communicate with you. What else is important to you besides those 2 things?
That's pretty much it. I just want to get this property sold as soon as possible because I need to move to Texas in the next 2 months.
Okay, Gabby, let me ask you a question. Up to this point in the listing presentation, have I shown you my ability to communicate effectively?
Yes, I think you have, Gabe.
Gabby, up to this point in this conversation, have I shown you my ability and my track record that I can get homes sold for more money in less time?
Yeah.
Okay, so then if I can help you save the time from having to interview all these multiple agents, help you get the home sold for more money in less time, isn't that what you're looking for?
Yeah, I am actually. I don't want to continue to waste more time.
Perfect. Here's what I'll go ahead and do for you. Part of my services is once you hire me today, I'll give a courtesy phone call to all those brokers. I'll let them know, hey, thank you for your opportunity, but she decided to move forward with me. And if you have a buyer, we're still going to pay you on the buyer side. So this way you don't feel bad about letting them go and they can still have an opportunity to make money. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Perfect. Sign on the dotted line.
Good job. Thank you.
Team, it's not what they tell you. What they tell you is smoke and mirrors. When they say, I want to interview more agents, what they're really saying is, I'm looking for someone to wow me. I'm looking for someone to give me what I'm looking for. No one wants to waste time going through multiple agents, having to break 4 people's hearts, having random people inside of their home. What they're looking for is someone that they trust to get the job done. Do I trust you, and can I trust you to sell the home at the highest level? As a real estate professional, it's your job to come across confident and competent. Those 2 things. Once you get inside the house, competent and confident. Gabby, you have a really amazing skill at coming across very confident. Team, can you guys agree? Does Gabby come across confident? Yes or yes? Drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. Doesn't she have a confident tone? Doesn't she have confident eye contact? Doesn't she have confidence in her delivery? There's no ums, no uhs. Look at everyone saying yes, 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 yes.
Thank you, guys.
Confidence is the number 1 thing. And I love that. Gabby, how did you develop your confidence?
You know, that's a great question, Gabe. I've always been a very confident person. And then when I was started working for corporate America, I remember one of the managers there was just horrible. And unfortunately, my confidence just went down. I allowed her to affect it, right? And then I realized I was like, you know, I need to continue to work on my confidence, right? And that's basically what happened. I just been working on it every single day. And what do? Well, I do a lot of affirmations every single day, self-confidence affirmations, and I practice. So that's huge. And like I said,
Bingo.
everyone's confident. You just got to continue to work on yourself.
Okay. She just said the key word right there. She practices. All right, team, I want you guys to write this one down. Practice does not make perfect. Practice does not make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. You can practice something the wrong way and you can get it wrong. True or true. Or you can practice something the right way, the excellent way, the best way, and you can also guarantee those type of results. Perfect practice delivers perfect results. So practicing is one thing. Here's the thing. It's like driving a car. All of us here before, there was at one point in our life that we'd never driven a car before. And then we got behind a wheel. We had a teacher, a mentor, a coach get behind the wheel with us. They drove it. And eventually we got so confident that now most of us drive with our phone in our hand, our knee on the steering wheel. We're drinking a Pepsi on this side. Come on, somebody. I know I'm talking to one of you guys out there. You get so confident now you don't even have to look at the road while you're driving. But before, when you were 13, 14, 15, you were terrified to go on the freeway. How do you develop the confidence? Look at, you are going to suck. You are going to suck at objection handling. You are going to suck at door knocking. You are going to suck at listing appointments. You are going to suck at making phone calls, posting on social media. You are going to suck. The faster you can come into an agreement with the fact that you're going to suck at something at the very beginning, the faster we can start the building process. Number one, you will suck off the bat. That's okay. Everyone sucked. I sucked at one point. I'm sure Gabby sucked at one point. But Gabby and I can tell you right now, we're very similar to each other, that we just didn't care. Gabby, is that true? You just didn't care? You just went with it anyways?
Exactly.
You didn't care what people thought? You didn't care what they... Tell me about
100%.
that. Tell me about that mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that, you really have to just continue, doing what you need to do, and a no gets you closer to a yes, and you have to have that mindset of just working on yourself and not giving up at the end of the day, right?
So confidence is built by repetitions. You are going to suck anyways. Get over it. It's okay. It's going to happen. Let's go over the next objection. What else are you guys doing within the sales field right now? Best way to learn it is just to watch the objection taking place. What else are you guys doing within the sales force? Drop it in the chat. What other objections are you guys having?
Marco asked
For
a
you people.
question.
Yes, go ahead.
So he asked, how do we handle objections when they want to list at a higher price than the market value?
There's two situations to deal with in this scenario. Number one, you have to remember, if they have to sell, then yes, we can handle that objection. If they want to sell and there's no need and no high motivation, no objection that you tell them is going to get them to reduce that price. That is called a make me move seller. Are you understanding that? You have two different types of sellers. You have one that's highly motivated, has to sell, and you have the second seller that doesn't have to sell, they just want to sell. Are you guys understanding the difference? Drop it in the chat. I need to make sure that you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. Yes, team? Okay, two different types of sellers. You have the one that's highly motivated and the one that's not highly motivated. When you have a seller who's highly motivated and they want to overlist their property, this is how you handle the objection right here. Marco, let's role play together, brother.
Ring, ring.
Okay, so give me the scenario. I'm guessing you're with the seller at their house and they want to go higher, and you guys are trying to go over the pricing objection.
Yes. So I'll just tell you the one I had this weekend on one of the listed apartments. So, even though the houses are selling for, brand new in the area for $490, I still want to list my house for $550 because it has solar panels, it's in a corner lot, and it's got pavers in the back.
Got it. I understand the pavers. Yeah, I mean, your home looks incredible, Marco. You guys have done an incredible job, and I love that. Really quickly, Marco, Can you remind me one more time? Why are you in the family moving in the first place?
Oh, well, we're in the middle of a divorce, and we're trying to get as much money as we can.
Okay, so the goal is to sell the home, obviously not give it away, and then you guys want to sell the home as much as possible so that you guys can both walk away with as much money as possible. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, and then what's the deadline that the court gave you?
We don't have a deadline yet, so
Okay, so it doesn't matter if this house sits on the market for 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. Your partner that you're divorcing is going to be okay with that, and so is the judge.
yeah, the partner's paying for the mortgage, so I really don't care. I need to get the 550.
Okay, and what happens if that home doesn't sell in the next 6 to 12 months? What's their response going to be with the court?
We're trying to avoid getting to the court.
Okay,
So we want
because
to sell the house before.
got it. So you want to avoid the court. What's the reason for avoiding the court and having them involved?
Oh, it's just gonna get more expensive, attorneys involved, so we're trying to be just more civil and respectful and just do it upon ourselves.
Got it. Okay, so if you get the courts involved, you'll end up having to spend money on attorneys, having to spend more time in the courts and dealing with all that, which can cost you even more money. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, and at what point do you think your partner would get the courts involved if this home isn't selling because of whatever reason?
It's hard to tell.
Okay, do you think they'll be lenient with you and give you a couple of years? Do you think they'll give you a couple of weeks? What are your thoughts?
I don't know, Gabe. I mean, it's the first time I get divorced, so what do you think?
Oh, I'm glad you asked me for my opinion. So most of the situations like this, number one, the fact that you and your partner are amicable, you're having conversations and you're both willing to sell it, you guys are off to an amazing start. Typically, when I get involved in a separation situation, there's already attorneys involved, courts involved, and the partners are not speaking to each other. And that eats into the equity. And what ends up happening is both of you have to pay attorney fees. Both of you have to spend time, energy, and gas driving to and from the courts. And it gets just very ugly and very difficult. And so whatever you end up selling your home for with an attorney involved in the courts, it ends up being less money. So the fact that you guys are agreeing to this is incredible. What I think is best, just based on my scenario, is we had to find a price, yes, that's not going to give away the home for free, but two, we also have to find something that doesn't put you guys in a position to have to get the courts involved. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So the way that we're going to do that is like this. Are you familiar with how to price a home properly and how to effectively get the most money out of it?
No.
Okay. I'm going to teach you and show you exactly what the banks do. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So step number one, remember when you bought this house, you had a bank hire an appraiser to appraise the value of the property? Do you remember that portion?
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
And do you remember why the bank did that to begin with?
No. You get a loan?
The reason the reason the bank hired a third party to come out to the property to appraise the value was to protect you from overpaying for the house. That was their number one objective. They wanted to make sure that Marco and your partner, you guys didn't overpay for the home, because this is a beautiful house and it very much could have been worth $600,000 at the time you purchased it. And maybe you would have bought it for $600,000, but the bank doesn't want you overpaying for a property in the area that it's not worth that much. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay, so we have to do the exact same thing that your bank did right now in order to determine the value of the house. And take a look at these sales comparables. Here's some houses that are on here that don't have solar, that don't have the beautiful tile, that don't have these things. So, and then as you can see, the average sales price, how much was the average sales price, Marco, for all those houses you had?
500.
Okay, well, 500, and the homeowner wanted 550?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. So as you can see right here, Marco, all the houses right here are worth about $500,000. You see that, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So here's how the bank's going to work. The bank's going to pull what's called sales comparables within the last 90 days to 6 months. They're going to look for 3 homes that have sold within a quarter mile to half mile radius. And they're going to look for homes that are similar in bedroom, bathroom, square footage, condition, lot size, and amenities. Those are the items that they're going to look for. And right here, we have 3 that have sold in the last 90 days. These are similar in bedroom, bathroom, square footage, lot size, distance from the subject from your house. So we have enough data here for them to make a decision. Based on what you're seeing right here, this is how the bank is going to make the determination of how much the value of the property. So we can list your home for 550. My recommendation is, why even stop there? Why don't we list it for 600? Why not 750? Why not $1 million? Why stop at 550?
Okay. Well, because that's what I think it's worth.
I think, honestly, your house is beautiful. I agree with you. I think it's worth a lot of money too. But at the end of the day, the bank is going to be there to protect the buyers, right?
Right. Okay.
So at the end of the day, since the bank is going to be loaning the buyer the money, just like they loaned you the money, it doesn't matter what I really think or anyone thinks. We can justify as much as we want. Ultimately, the bank's going to have the final say. Is that right?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so we have to make a decision right now. It's either A, we're going to push for the highest dollar amount, but we're going to force being on the market for a long time. 2, you're going to have your partner get exhausted and impatient, contact an attorney, which now it's going to cost you more money, more time. Or B, we can find a price that's going to be right where it's going to cause it to sell, yet justifiable to the bank. Which route do you think is better?
No, obviously option B.
Okay. What price do you think we should price it at to get people into the door, to view how beautiful your home is, and to cause a bidding war?
You know what, Gabe? I'm going to let you guide me on that.
Okay, here's my thoughts. You have a market right now. Your specific market, as you can see, the average days on market are about 30 to 35 days, and they're selling at about 505. Right now, we're in a very weird market. You have wars that are happening in the East. You had a transition in administrative staff from one administration to another, and then you have the rates that are kind of sitting where they are. Everyone's a little nervous about the market, just like you are, right? You read the same news, am I right?
Yeah.
So people are nervous right now about buying. What we don't want to do is put the home too high, because we'll end up having to go backwards, but we also don't want to go too low, because in this market, people aren't having a bidding war unless you're listing it about $1. So what I think we need to do is we need to put it just over what we really think it's going to sell for, and maybe have a little wiggle room from there. So here's the perfect pricing strategy, and I'd like to hear your thoughts. I think we need to be at about 509,999. This is going to be higher than your sales comparables, yet still justifiable to the bank, and you won't run into an issue with your spouse. Does that sound good?
That works.
Perfect. Okay, we'll move on with that, and then boom. That's how I would handle the objection. Now, let me explain to you, Marco, the theory and the thought behind it. Typically, what ends up happening with the seller is that they're so emotional about their decision that they're unable to logically think. So what you have to do is you have to detach them from the situation. I want you guys to think of it like this. Marco, think of it like this. They're in the emotion right now. You have to physically grab them, move them out of the emotion, and get them looking from a different perspective. You were once a buyer. What happened when you bought the home? Get them to think it through. Oh man, I had a bank. Why did the bank do it? Because they wanted to protect you. They didn't want you paying $600,000 for this home. Aren't you glad you had that? Yes, I did. Well, there's going to be other banks that do the exact same thing. And if you go through with your decision that you want to do, I'm not telling them what to do, Marco. This is their idea. They're the ones who gave me the answer. This is why I asked all the questions, because I needed them to give me all the ammunition. All I did was take their words and put it back to them. Well, listen, if we go with what you want to do, the banks are going to come back and do what they did for you. And then you're going to run into 2 problems. 1, you're going to run the risk of staying on the market. But number 2, your partner might lose patience. And if they do, it's going to be more costly for you. I'm not the one who said that. They're the one who said it. I asked you, Marco, hey, what's going to happen if it doesn't sell? What do you think your partner is going to do? Well, they might get the courts involved. So I used that against them. So Marco, what you're saying is if you go too high, you might not sell, and your partner might get the attorneys involved, which end up costing you more money. Does that make sense? At the end of every question, Marco, I did what's called a tie down. Team, write this one down. Whenever you're asking any client a question, tie them down at the very end of your statement. What does that mean exactly? At the very end of every single statement, ask them, does that make sense? Does that sound good? Or is that clear? Ask them a question that forces them to say yes. Yeah, that makes sense. No, I understand. I totally get it. Yes, 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 yes. So what do you think is best? And I exhausted Marco so much mentally, he caught himself in his own story. He was like, yeah, you're right, bro. If I do this, I'm going to get screwed over in the end. Gabe, what do you think? Well, I think based on the data, we should probably be here. And it was logical. It's above what you want, so you feel good about it, but it's still justifiable to the bank. And if it doesn't work out, we can adjust the price either way. Okay, that sounds good. And we move from there. Marco, I'd like to hear your feedback on that, brother, on how you felt during that role play exchange. Did you feel comfortable? Were you pressured? Did you feel bad? And then team, I want some feedback on what you guys took away from that exchange.
I think that was good. Sometimes I feel like I'm too fast and I just jump into it, and maybe that's what, I mean, I haven't lost the listing, but it's still in the works. Maybe I just need to slow down and just dissect it a little bit more. And that's what you did.
Ask more questions. Ask more questions.
Yeah, just ask more questions and kind of see where they're at. Even though I know that where they're at, but I think people need to hear it. So that goes to all the agents. Like, we know what they know, but sometimes I think they need to hear it themselves.
Yes. Write this one down, team. People will only move on an idea that belongs to them. If you give them the idea and they move forward with it, they're going to resent you and they're not going to own the idea. Once the idea becomes theirs, they will move on it and they will own it. If I tell you guys right now, hey, all of you guys got to sell more houses or you're all going to be fired and you're going to lose your homes, all that stuff, you're not going to care. But the moment that that idea becomes yours, you came up with the idea. You're the one who got scared. Man, if I don't sell houses, I'm going to do, oh my gosh, Gabe, how do I close? How do I handle objection? When the idea becomes yours, you will own it. You will move on it. If the idea is mine, you might move on it, but you're going to move on it resentfully. You're going to have slow approach. So this is why you got to make the idea theirs, Marco. When you ask them questions, team, when you're asking them questions, you're helping them self-discover, and then they come to the conclusion themselves. All I did is instead of telling Marco what's the price his home at because of my reasons, selling is not telling. Selling isn't telling. I'm not telling him what to do. All I did, I wanted to get him to a lower price. I could have done it two ways. One, I could have told him, or two, I could have asked him a series of questions that led him to the same answer. All I did was ask him a series of questions that got him to my answer. And the answer was his. It wasn't my answer. Marco, what do you think we should do? Marco, what's going to happen when that happens? Marco, do you know how the bank works? Marco, what's the appraiser going to say? Marco, would you pay for that home? No, yes, no, yes, no, yes. I don't think so. At the very end, Gabe, what do you think? Well, I think maybe this. What do you think? Yeah, I agree with you. Perfect. 509 it is. Great choice, Mr. Homeowner. I love that price you just came up with. And Marco feels good about himself. Yeah, I am good, aren't I? He doesn't feel defeated. He doesn't feel taken advantage of. He doesn't feel like I forced him to do something. The idea was his. I asked really good questions. He came to the conclusion himself. Team, what was your takeaway from that exchange?
I really like when you said, Gabe, asking those questions, because you obviously want to create a pattern of agreement. And that's a sales tactic that we need to really use. It's a tool so that we can make sure that, you know, we're obviously educating the client and explaining to them exactly why, like you said, not telling them the price, but educating them directly, because you don't want to tell them the price, because then you're going to be held accountable to that, and you don't want to be in that position. So it's let the seller own the price and understand exactly what they should price their home at. And obviously, to your point, the longer the property sits on the market, the more money they lose, the much less money do they end up selling the property for. And like you said, they're going to end up, you know, losing more money in the long run. So it's like critically important that we educate these people, because honestly, I realize that I'm not going to take a overpriced listing because my goal is to get it sold. That's my responsibility to the seller. And if I don't educate them, if I don't have the courage to actually explain that to the customer, to the client, then I'm doing a disservice at that point, because then the listing's going to stay on the market for so long, and it's like, what's the point of that, right? So it's really about letting them know, you know, when we have these sellers that are just adamant, I just want to list it at this price. And okay, well, I showed you the evidence. I showed you what, you know, the past sales. And, you know, you can rest assured that 100% of the buyers and 100% of the agents that have buyers looking in this area will know that your property is for sale. And then we also know that if we priced it correctly, you're going to have 8 to 10 showings the first week. That's a statistic from NAR. And then we'll get one offer. If that doesn't happen the first week, and we don't get an offer on the second week, then we know that the property was priced slightly higher. So you kind of have to also let them know, set them up for a price reduction.
Yes. Now, here's the only thing with that. I would have the price reduction conversation after the listing is signed. Because remember, your whole objective during the listing presentation is to get it signed. Get the listing signed, but you also want to set proper expectations. Everything Gabby just said, yes, I have a couple of things I want to talk about that, but team, I want to hear from you first. What did you take away from that exchange with Marco? It's important that you're actively listening, you're repeating what you're saying. So what was it your takeaways from the conversation?
Love the tie downs. I think that's like textbook sales 101, is to get them answering yes, no questions. I also, you know, there's an old saying that they say, like, a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. And so it's interesting how you were able to take that and kind of get him to answer on his own. You asked him those questions, and in return, he ended up answering his own questions.
Oh, love that. Oh, I love that quote, brother. Can you text that to me?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
I love that. One more person, get some feedback on that exchange. I have one more thing I want to add. Come on, team. What are you noticing? What are you learning? Come on, we're here to master these objections. I need to know where your mind is at. Someone open up and talk. We're sales agents, not secret agents. Come on, baby. Someone speak up. Let's go. I'm going to put you guys on the spot. You're here to learn and grow. What did you guys learn from that exchange?
I learned that for sure you gave him that confident back for him to feel like he made all those decisions.
Absolutely. Here's what I want. Thank you, Annette, for talking about that. Here's one thing that I want to mention to you is learning how to take the client's ideas, reframe those in a question that are consequential. I need to know what your ideas are, how you think about something. And then as I'm fact finding, as I'm asking you these questions, hey, what do you think is going to happen here? What's going to happen when that happens? Consequences. I'm gathering intel. I'm gathering data. I'm gathering information. When I've gathered everything, it's important that you actively listen while you're asking the questions. Too many times, real estate agents are listening to respond. What's the quote say? They're listening to respond, not listening to reply, not listening to respond. You got to actively listen to what they're telling you. Don't listen and be ready with your next question. Don't listen and be ready with the next statement. If you're thinking of your next question while you're talking to them, that means you're not present in the conversation. You're not actively listening because you're so ready to get the next thing out of your mouth. You want to talk about something already. Either A, because you haven't practiced enough, B, you're nervous, 3, you think you got a good point. But did you see the entire time I was cool, calm, collected with Marco? I slowed my pace down. I took my time asking him questions, question after question after question. Finally, when I took everything out of Marco, then I was ready to present. I was fact-finding. Okay, so Marco, based on what you're telling me, blah, 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 and then I went into it. You can't do that unless you actively listen. I'm sure there's a couple of you guys on this call. Let me know if you have this habit. Drop it in the chat down below if you have this habit. That when someone's talking, you do this. Yeah, okay, yeah, sure. And you're just constantly doing that. Drop it in the chat. Who does that? When people are talking, yeah, someone Junior says guilty. When people are talking, you're like, yeah, sure, okay, And you think you're actively listening, and you think you're doing a good thing by letting them hear you. That is not actively listening. That is one of the worst things you can do in sales, is that when someone is talking, you're going, yeah, sure, okay, yeah. It's the most rudest, disrespectful thing you can do. Because all it says is, I'm just waiting for you to get done so I can say what I want to say. Come on, somebody. That's all you're really saying. So when someone's talking to you, do this. Zip. Don't say nothing. Stay quiet. Let them finish and then ask another question. You can only do that when you're actively listening. Stay quiet. That's a skill you got to learn. Number 2, actively listen. Don't listen to what they're telling you just so you can get a response. You need to listen to what they're telling you so you can gather intel, so you can prepare your objection handling conversation. Well, hey, based on what you're telling me, this, that, and the other, this is how you got to move forward. Is that right? Yes, tie them down, get them to agree multiple times throughout the conversation. But I'm using their words so that he feels like it's his decision at the very end of all of it. I mean, we can keep on going back and forth for hours on doing that, but yes, repeat and approve so it shows you are listening. But repeat and approve after they're done communicating with you, after they're finished talking to you. What you don't want to do is this. What you don't want to do is a repeat and approve and then ask another question, repeat and approve. It just sounds too systematic. Really high-level salespeople can gather all the intel, stay quiet, stay present. That's the other thing. Make the eye contact. Don't fidget. Don't move your hands. Don't take notes. Sit there. Don't tap your knee. Just sit there across the table. You have to look cool, calm, and collected. You have to look like you have everything under control. When we were little and we got scared, who did we run to? Mom, dad, grandma? When we were little? Why did we run to these people when we were scared? Did we go to them because they looked scared? Did mom look scared? Did dad look scared? Did grandma look scared? No, we didn't go to our elders when we were scared as kids. What do your kids do when they're scared? Thank you, Lily. Thank you. We felt safe. We felt safe going to mom. We felt safe going to dad. We felt safe going to grandma. Some of you guys on the call don't make your clients feel safe. Some of you guys make them feel uncomfortable. Your voice is quivering. You're, yeah, you don't know what to say. You're telling them what to do. You're not actively listening. You don't make your clients feel safe, so they can't make a safe decision. Some of you guys got to practice making your people feel safe. Some of you guys got to just calm down a little bit, relax. Hey, it's going to be okay. Marco, what do you think? Smile a little bit, have fun with it. Make them feel safe. And then when you make them feel safe and you appear to be confident and you've listened to what they said. Hey team, what do we pay counselors for? What do we pay therapists for? What do we pay them for? What do they do 90% of the time? 90% of the time, are they telling us things? What are they doing 90% of the time? Someone tell me. Open up the mic. What do they do? Therapists, psychiatrists, they listen. They listen. We literally pay people hundreds of dollars just to listen to us. Your clients are yearning for someone just to listen to them. So if you zip your mouth, stop talking and listen to them, half the job is already done. 25% of them make them feel safe. 25% of them ask them great questions and let them come to the decision. But you got to learn how to ask great questions. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. We're at the top of the hour right now. It's 12:56. Do you have any final thoughts and questions before we wrap up How to Master Objection Handling Class 101? Any final thoughts or questions, team? And it was great. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, bro. So I noticed a lot of yours was obvious questions, which I do a ton of. Typically when we're talking about the guy, he's saying, oh, my partner is making the payment, blah, blah, blah. Are you big on money? Are you big on money? Because when I hear that, I'm like, yo, you're going to spend $6 on the market. You're going to pay $4,000 a month times 6. You're eating $24,000 away, right? Right away, I start having that conversation in my head, and I'm talking to them and I'm telling them, like, guys, you want to burn through more money? You're worried about the money that you want to make as a sales price, but yet you're going to throw more money away. Do you understand? And I'm very big at getting them to grasp the concept of the money, because my biggest belief is people have already spent the money before they've even gotten it. And that's where I have to break them down and tell them, hey, look, you want X, fine, cool. But if it takes 6 months, you realize that you're giving away that money that you could hang on to, rather than, grinding it out, trying to get this price. And I have a big conversation with that.
Yes, the money conversation works. Yes, logically it works. You can break it down side by side. The only thing that I would do differently is I would phrase it in questions. I wouldn't tell them. I wouldn't tell them you're losing $4,000. I wouldn't tell them you're paying $4,000. What I would say is, how much are you paying per month? And if the house doesn't sell, how much would you end up paying per month over the next 4 months? And what does that come out to at the very end of your net sheet? But what if you sold it today for this much? How much would you earn then? the only difference I would do, bro, is just switch it in questions, and you can get them to the same answer rather than just telling them. But yeah, you're 100% right. Just flip it. Did you guys just see how I did that? Did you guys see how I did that? Richard was telling me right now, and I know he was just using an example. I know you do a better job. I know, Richard, you're a closer, brother. I know your numbers are big, but I'm just using it as an example right now. Did you guys see how Richard was just in the example? He was telling me, hey, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. But I quickly took what Richard said and I put it into questions. Hey, how much are you going to be spending per month? How much, by the end of it, how much did you have spent just by waiting? So is waiting costing you more money than lowering the price right now and getting it sold right now? Plus the time that's involved, what is that worth it to you? What's the best option do you think right now? Do you guys notice how I took his ideas and I just framed it into questions? Yes or yes, drop in the chat. So I know you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. Take what they're telling you and reframe it in a question. Gabby says yes. Gabby, you're sharp. I love it. Larissa, you're on point today. Love it. All right, team, we got to wrap up right now. I want you guys to unmute your mic. We're going to yell, go win on 3. Unmute your mic. Today's session was fire. Shout out to Gabby. Shout out to Rich and all the participants we had today. Gabby, we got to do some more masterminding together. I love your swag. I love your energy. It's incredible.
We will. Absolutely. That's why I'm here.
All right, team, unmute your mics. We're going to yell, go win on 3. We're going to do a question today. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and we're going to yell, go win. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Go win!
All right, team, have a blessed day, man. We'll see you guys on the next call.
Bye.